Good morning. Welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, trying so hard to position himself in front of the camera. Yan po ang problema sa trabahong ito. You need to position yourself properly. In any case, good morning. It's December 8th. I believe it's a holiday, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And I do hope that all of you are going to make the most out of this holiday. Probably make your Christmas list, make your wish list, or whatever, and stay healthy because right now the weather has become so cold. As you all know, here in Lipa, I just checked. The temperature here is 22 degrees centigrade in the early morning. I'm sure it's in around the 20 degrees. So, hindi ko lang masabi, hindi naman tayo weatherman, but it is cold and I already have the sniffles. Now, just a warning because some of you may be saying, oh, kaya ko yan, lamig, konting ambon. That's exactly what I said to myself a few days ago as I worked around the yard. And bingo, presto, here I am. I have the sniffles. Anyway, please do take care. Take your vitamin C, your minerals, etc., etc. Because ngayon, pag may sipon ka lang, hindi mo na malaman. It is now hard to tell whether or not you have the cold or could you have been infected. Luckily, I don't really go out that much, just a little, but I will probably have an antigen test this morning para lang masiguro kasi iba po, no? The sense of responsibility is upon us. The burden of responsibility is upon us. If you're sick, stay home. If you don't feel well, stay home. If you are not sure what is causing your illness, get a test. Kasi dahil po dyan sa mga patest-test na yan, ayun, yung kapatid ko, ang tagal, for the longest time, refused to have a medical checkup in spite of several ailments that he was feeling. Finally, he went. Fortunately, thank God. Bagamat he spent 12 hours in the operating room and he is still now suffering from post-opera trauma, at least we figured out what was wrong with him. Have yourself tested if you are not feeling well. I have been doing that to many people around me. And one security guard dito sa area namin, kinulit-kulit ko after getting his blood test after a 1-year postponement. Ayun, all of his indicators were times 3. Sabi ng doktor sa kanya, mabuti nga buhay ka pa. So please, our beloved viewers here on Cignal TV and One News PH, I implore you, I request you, please do not postpone medical tests. And don't even think of COVID, just your annual blood test para malaman natin what your status is. Anyway, let's get the day started. I have an interesting story to share. Our daily starter for today, I picked it up on Facebook. Let your faith be bigger than your fears, okay? And bakit po yan ang pinili ko? Well, because it just encourages us that yes, we have reason to be fearful of certain challenges, certain situations, and it's easy to fall into scare mode, sabi nga nila. But if your faith is bigger, and ano ba yung faith dito? Because some people think, faith is like, bahala na si Batman. No. Faith is that trust that you have in God and in the circumstance that you are in, that God will walk you through it all. Last night, early this morning at 1:30, my wife and I got to watch our daughter who is in the Netherlands. For all the older ones, Holland, she is in the Netherlands, and we got to watch her a level up ceremony wherein they celebrated their first year completion or completion of their first year college. And most of you might say, pambira ka naman, Sito. first year college, parang sineselebrate na nila. But ladies and gentlemen, the speaker at that ceremony said something that really struck me. The speaker said, many of you here are from overseas. That alone is a challenge. And then you are adjusting to a foreign culture or country. That is a second challenge. Then many of you here are trying to study under COVID realities or the challenges of not getting COVID. That is your third challenge. And then many of you here are dealing with online studies, education, etc., or the mix of online and face-to-face studies. That is a challenge. So, as far as they were concerned, this batch of students were the first and the special batch because unlike the regular students who simply attended classes, sat down in classrooms, relaxed, and listened, these students had to face so many challenges, etc. And I'm not saying that it is special because my daughter is a foreign student in a foreign country. Even here in the Philippines, if you have children or sons and daughters who are in college or in high school doing online education, please celebrate with them the fact that they were able to finish their first year or their second year under COVID conditions. It takes faith to do that. It takes a strong belief in the outcome of things, and it takes a personal relationship with God to be able to get through COVID-19, online learning, the burdens of online studies, etc. So that is the story I want to share and encourage everyone that celebrate what you have achieved. And what you have achieved came because you had faith bigger than your fears. Kasi I confess, when all of this started, we were all running scared and it's like, no way we are going to let our children out. But because of our faith that God will protect our children, we have done so. Okay, so let your faith be bigger than your fears. Okay, let's go now to the front page of the Philippine Star, December 8th, 2021. It's a Wednesday, 8:07. Excuse me. The headline, Okta research says the Philippines has reached population immunity. No less than Father Nicanor Austriaco of the Okta Research Group has come to this observation. Hindi pa naman siguro conclusion yan, but observation because there is much lower number of cases than ever in the last 20 months of the pandemic. Second, there is the lowest number of hospitalization in the last 20 months. And observably, there has been the greatest number of movement or mobility in the Philippines. Kung pinagsama-sama nyo yung tatlo, bumaba ang mga kaso, bumaba ang bilang ng nahospital, at pagkatapos pagkadami-dami ng gumagala, they can only conclude or observe that the Philippines has reached population immunity. Now, many may be naysayers. Alam nyo, may factor po tayong hindi natin masyadong napapag-usapan sa media, and that is the exposure of people who are asymptomatic. Kumbaga, tinamaan pero hindi tinablan. So, ayan, ang nangyayari, population immunity, because also the Philippine government, to its credit, has been very active and pursued vaccination of all Filipinos. Okay, now let's go to the header of the Philippine Star. The Philippine Coast Guard to arm vessels with water cannons. Magkakakanyunan na po sa West Philippine Sea. Pag kinulit na naman tayo ng mga Chinese Coast Guard, the Philippine Coast Guard has indicated to the Philippine Senate that once they receive the two 92-meter vessels ba yun? 92 meters yata yun, na vessel from Japan. They intend to arm these vessels with water cannons and also or other quite Coast Guard boats kasi they will level up. Instead of using private boats to deliver food and supplies to the Marines on Ayungin Shoal, they will now start using Coast Guard vessels or what is internationally referred to as white ships kasi kulay puti pag Coast Guard. And they will also arm I don't know if you can call that, arm the vessels with water cannon. Sana lang po wag maging boat wash as in car wash yung mga yan para hugasan ng barko sa China, West Philippine Sea with China. Anyway, that's the word from the Coast Guard or the Philippine Navy. Okay. And next up, schools told to do away with barriers. The Department of Health, through its spokesperson, Maria Rosario Vergere, Undersecretary of the DOH, has advised and instructed schools to do away with the plastic barriers and UV lights that have been introduced in schoolroom settings. Kasi raw po, there are many places where UV lights are being used by people who don't understand the nature, technology, and risks of using UV lights. And if left unattended or if children are exposed to this, it could cause severe burn or blindness or other injury. Pati na rin po yung mga plastic barriers because ayan po, nakakadagdag pa yan sa environmental garbage. Okay, let's go now to the other side of the upper part. DOH, no to shorter travel quarantine. The DOH has likewise announced that it is not supporting or it is not in favor of shorter travel quarantines for travelers coming from yellow list countries because the position of the Department of Health is that all of these viruses, COVID-related viruses, originate from other countries. And therefore, our first defense, not necessarily our best defense, but our first defense is to make sure that anything and anyone that comes into the country undergoes the quarantine measure. Okay, so yan po ang sinabi ng DOH. And then we have the other good news. 23 highly urbanized cities get herd immunity, or at least that's their declaration that they have vaccinated 70% of their population. Included in this 23 are the 16 cities and one municipality in the National Capital Region and also Baguio City, Angeles City, Lapu-Lapu City, Mandaue, and Davao City. So, okay, so at least naka 70% na sila, eh sana po yung remaining 30%, eh wag na kayong hard to get pa, magpa-vaccinate na pa kayo para ma-herd immunity na kayo. Okay. And next up. Okay, yan po, no? Yan po ay practice lang, pretend lang, okay? Those are members of the Philippine National Police Aviation Security Unit conducting a full-scale security exercise simulation in active shooting incident at the NAIA Terminal 3, Pasay City yesterday. sana lang walang masyadong tao or nabigyan ng anunsyo kasi yung mga foreigners, pagdating niya sa mga baril-baril, they are commenting, we are the only country they can think of where you go to a mall and practically every other store has an armed guard in front of the store. Okay. Further down on the front page of the Philippine Star, we have the tally of confirmed new cases. We have 356. Qualifier to this number, do not jump in joy and celebration. From what I heard last night, at least 6 laboratories failed to submit their test results. So we are not sure if this is reflective of the actual number of cases, but as far as the submissions or submitted results are concerned, they only found 356. And as far as deaths are concerned, okay naman na two-digit na lang tayo. We are down to 2 digits at 92 deaths yesterday, bringing us to 49,591. And I pray to the dear Lord God that it will be the slowest crawl. And hopefully we don't even reach medyo long shot given the reality of COVID. But sana hindi tayo umabot ng 50,000 by December 25. Ano po? Okay. Now we go to the other. Okay. Secretary Francisco Duque wants level 2 retained. Kasi as far as the secretary is concerned, we should not be taking these protocols for granted, and we should not jump in. Although some experts are forecasting that level 1 will be attained by January. But in the meantime, ayaw ni Secretary Duque na umalis sa level 2 just to ensure that we don't go crazy and end up getting COVID or spreading COVID because of our rush to malls and entertainment facilities, etc., etc. Okay. And part of the news today, or the front page of the Philippine Star, Congresswoman Villar awards house and lots to residents of Las Piñas. Ayan, Deputy Speaker and Las Piñas, Congresswoman Camille Villar hands over the symbolic key to a brand new Bria house and lot to Otela Soriano of Barangay CAA Las Piñas as the lucky winner during the grand raffle. Parapol pala. Hindi naman pala basta pa. I don't know. No? I mean, I love the idea that they're giving away house and lot. Pero iba kasi yung binigay mo lang, iba yung pinaraffle mo. Kasi para pag may nanalo sa raffle, may talo. Ayan na. Pasko na di ba? I have friends in the motoring industry na kanilang national anthem, raffle, raffle, raffle. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you to the good Congresswoman for doing that raffle and giving away a house and lot. Okay, now here's the sad part. While others are giving away house and lots, we are also overlooking certain realities. The Social Weather Station conducted a survey and found out that there are still families who suffered or experienced hunger in the past, 3 months. And ang ibig sabihin po noon, when you are asked in the survey, did you at any time in the last 3 months go without food or had to survive with very little food? Kumbaga, nakatikim ba kayo ng gutom sa nakaraang 3 buwan? At ayan po, no, ang lumalabas, meron pa rin po, although yung bilang, the number of families have gone down to 10% in the third quarter. So regardless of whether it's 10%, 5%, 20%, the reality is there are still people who are going hungry. And as the good Lord Jesus Christ has told us, please open your eyes, open your ears, and check in your community if people are in such needs, because all our earnings, our wealth are meaningless if our neighbors are going hungry. Okay, pampatuwa naman, pampakyut, ayan po, ano? Holiday hugs. Hugs, grabe, puro baboy ang iniisip ko kasi, no? Holiday hugs at SM MOA, a giant teddy bear topiary surrounded by blooming poinsettias, hugs a stack of red Christmas balls to celebrate the love and joy of Christmas at the SM Mall of Asia. Yan po yung sinasabi nilang topiary, halaman po yan, gawa sa mga halaman na yung iba gumawa muna ng mock-up ng teddy bear, pagkatapos dinikitan o tinalian ng mga halaman or pinalakihan. Kumbaga, because in some countries they actually plan this years ahead or a year ahead. They create the skeletal frame or out of a chicken wire or something, and then they start growing a plant around it. That's not easy. That is a work of art, and we congratulate SMOA for doing that. Medyo kakaiba po yan, ha? Kumbaga daw, yan yung para yan ang monumento sa mga plantito and plantitas. Okay, I think that's all for the news, and now let's go to our interviews. We have two individuals who are both running for public office. Now, I would encourage you to listen in, watch the interviews, because one is a former councilor of Quezon City, and who has a family legacy of giving help, legal assistance or advice to people. Nakasama ko yung ama niya sa ABS-CBN. And the second one is someone I have known through the years, and many think, artista. He is actually more than an actor kasi marami pong nagawa. Ang problema kasi sa atin, hindi natin binabago. We don't change our operating systems, di ba? Our reference file when we listen, talk, or think of people. Like me, there are people who still think of me in terms of 20 years ago or 30 years ago. Parang, hello naman po, tumanda na ako. Sa pagtanda ko, may mga nabago na, may natutunan ako. So, let's listen in on our interviews. The first one is a gentleman running for senator under Acción Democrático, and he took over the slot of former Vice President and veteran broadcaster Noli De Castro. The gentleman is 56 years old, experienced in local politics, having served as a Quezon City councilor, and he also took a shot at the vice mayoralty candidacy, but hindi siya pinalad. Kasi nakalaban niya, mas pogi at mas bata sa kanya, si Gian Soto. Anyway, let's bring in Attorney Jopet Sison, the son of the great Joe Sison, here on the agenda. Attorney Jopet, good morning.
Good morning, Cito. Talaga namang pati edad ko, binanggit mo ha.
Sorry, hindi kasi alam mo kanina no, nagse-set up ka ng audio mo, sabi ko, nagpa-stem cell ba si Attorney Joe? Kasi parang you're shades of the young Joe Sison, but I'm sorry, no, I'm not belittling you, but I'm just giving honor to your great father Joe Sison, who helped so many by giving legal advice nung nasa Channel 2 pa kami, correct?
Yeah, I know. In fact, when we go around, kailangan ko linawin dahil alam nila yung programa, Pero kailangan ko linawin, ako po yung anak, hindi po ako yung tatay. Dahil-
Well, in in any case, Jopet, no, kasi may mga magtatanong. I'm sorry, no, I now have to shift to broadcaster mode. Alam mo
yes,
naman
yes,
yung
yeah, I
trabaho na
understand
ito.
that. Yeah.
There are people who would probably say, Jopet Sison, I know the father, but what claim to fame does the son have aside
Yeah.
from being a counselor? I guess my first question is, how did you happen to take the slot of former VP, former VP Noli De
Noli.
Castro?
Yeah.
Oo, kay Noli. Paano nangyari yung palitan ninyo?
Yeah, well, my claim to fame. I'm also part of the program, yung our program with my dad, yung Ipaglaban Mo. But yeah, I have been with politics and public service for quite some time, for decades, starting with local legislation. And what you did not mention also, Cito, was my 11 years of service in the housing sector. So I was 4 years assistant general manager of the National Housing Authority, and
Mm.
became president of the National Home Mortgage Finance Corporation. So I've had exposures in politics, in legislation, as well as in managing government corporations for the national government. So yeah, basically that's when I go around. Um, I introduce myself as co-host of the program, but I have to stress that in terms of public service, I think I have extensive experience in that regard also.
Okay,
Now, your
now,
question on
yeah.
why me? I'm new in the party in Action Democratico. My initial direction was to run in my district, where I have I have always garnered votes in that district. But yeah, I am part of the short list of candidates for senatorial, and when there was a vacancy in that position, I was next in line and nominated by the party.
Okay, but being nominated by the party and aspiring for the slot are two things. And I mean, in fairness to you, may mga nagtanong sa akin, Sito, hindi ka ba interesadong tumakbo ng Senado? Sabi ko, alam niyo, kung magpapagod lang din naman ako, tatakbo na akong vice president para pag natigok yung presidente, automatic presidente ako. I mean, the effort is the same. But
Yeah.
what convinced you that to take this step that is equal to a David fighting Goliath?
Yeah, in terms of capacity to do the job, I think the job of I came from the lowest government, barangay. I legislated for the barangay. I legislated for the city. I was able to have approved 270 ordinances and resolutions. So in terms of doing the job, legislation wise, I think I can do that job. Now in campaigning, it's really it's a strategy, and I did not go here or enter this battle without expecting the obstacles
Yeah.
that would face my way. I went here with a strategy also. I have to
Would
be
you care?
honest. I will capitalize on my exposure on television, but I will also rely on the help of the party and the NGOs that are helping us go around the country. I'm comparing it to local campaign. So I was able to campaign citywide, and well, it is a test also of how the voters of the city accepted my personality, my program, and my capacity to serve. I plan to replicate that nationwide with the help of the party and the exposure being given to us in going around the country.
Yeah, Jopet, you're
Yeah.
clearly the serious type. Ako naman is clearly the bugok type. Pero
Pwede
alam mo,
rin akong bugok sito.
yung mga tanong ko may laman eh. Pero ikaw ba may
Yeah.
tinatagong secret weapon?
Oy, anong
Kanya
secret
malakas ang
weapon?
loob mo mag-senador.
Ah, ano ako, straightforward ako. Ang masasabi ko lang, pagdating sa kampanyahan, ay walang mas sisipag pa sa akin. Pagka sinabi mong umikot, iikot ako. At talagang direkta sa tao. At makikita naman yan, ng mga kasama ko. No? I go direct to
Eh,
the people. Kampanya lang ng kampanya. Pagka binigyan mo ko ng 90 days, makikita mo akong umiikot ng 90 days. So, yeah, wala akong secret weapon. Ano lang,
pero ikaw,
diretso lang,
ikaw yung
sipag.
ano eh. Ikaw yung pumalit kay Kanoli. Wala ba man lang commitment kay Kuya Noli na, ya mo bata, sagot kita. Kumbaga,
Wala.
suportahan ta ka.
Nagkausap kami ni Kabayan after na eh. I had to call him and pay my respects, yung courtesy. Pero yun, sabi niya, good luck.
Ayun na, patay ka na doon. Kasi kilala ko, alam mo, nung tumakbo si Canoli ng Vice President, nag-usap kami sa steps ng ABS-CBN. At ang tanong ko sa kanya, ikaw ba nakakasiguro dyan sa balak mo, Kuya Noli? Baka sumakit lang ang katawan mo dyan. And, you know, I mean, I would imagine that the withdrawal of Noli de Castro in the Senate list would have been, you know, cause for concern for you in taking that slot. Kasi parang kung yung veterano ng DOS umatras, tapos ikaw papalit ka, parang ano ba yan? Long shot ba yan o baka sakali?
Yeah, I'm not really privy on the reason why he backed out. But yeah, ang narinig ko lang is talagang bago siya pumasok, talagang nagdadalawang isip. The reason I do not really know. I'm not sure if it's really um, the resources that are needed to run. But I'm not new in politics.
Yeah.
I have won several elections with minimal cost. So,
Mhm.
kung ang pinag-uusapan natin is resources, I think I have proven time and again that that is not the major consideration in running for public office, even if we are running on a nationwide scale. So, yeah, pwede natin palitan yan ng sipag, tapos pwedeng palitan ng tulong. Meron namang tulong eh. Maraming
Well,
tumutulong.
you
Yeah.
you are clearly living by my daily starter today when I said your faith must be greater than your fear, and I commend you for that.
Definitely. Yes,
But
yes,
you know,
definitely. Yeah.
while I would like to say I am a man of faith, I am also a man of strategy and tactics. Ngayon, you were saying dadaanin mo sa sipag, pero
Yes.
ano ang commitment ng party sa'yo? Kasi ang worry ko dyan, Jopet, alam mo, pag nagkakauntugan na at habulan na ng boto,
Tama.
kung 12 ang kandidato, nalalaglag 8 and they concentrate on a winnable 4.
Tama.
Are you worried that you might fall under that situation?
Yeah, ang strategy is umikot. Magpakilala. Well, maganda rin dito dahil itong past 2 months, nakakaikot kami 4 times a week. So sa pag-ikot, kilala eh.
Uh-huh.
Nakikilala because of the program. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful to my father. I'm thankful to the party for giving me this chance to go around. And nakikilala. So makikita natin, in terms of strategy, in terms of health, ang laki ng tulong ng partido. Dahil isipin nyo, wala akong problema pag pupunta kami ng Nueva Vizcaya, pag pupunta kami ng Batangas, ng Laguna, kahapon Baguio, walang problema. Sagot nila at ang laki ng tulong. And for me, that's a big help. For me to be able to go around and to be able to introduce myself, yun nga, walang problema sa pagpapakilala. Kailangan na lang ipaalam na kandidatong senador.
Okay, now because we have very limited time, Jopet, and you know you
Yeah.
understand the industry,
Yeah,
what
no.
will be your principal legislative agenda or program if you make it to the Senate?
Yeah, I came from the sector of housing, so I plan to bring my experience to the Senate in terms of solving the housing problem of the country. There is a new concept introduced in Manila, patterned after Singapore. So we want to replicate this nationwide. Likewise, the most important law passed every year is the budget. So if we want to curb corruption, if we want transparency in governance, we have to check the budget, provide line item detailed budgeting so that this would be democratized and so that more people will be looking into it in order to check corruption in spending. So basically, those are two of the
Okay.
major programs we want to
Yeah,
implement.
there is a saying, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, or show me your accomplishment. Now,
Yeah,
you cited the Singapore model. That is a 1960s, 50s model, or
that's right.
60s model of building mass housing
That's right.
for urban development. I'm very familiar because I
Yes.
have been espousing that for the longest time. But
Oh, okay.
the
Okay.
question now is, do you have actual proof of the pudding? Kumbaga,
Yeah.
during your tenure in the so many years in housing, meron ka na bang masasabi mong, ako ang nagtulak niyan, nagpatayo niyan, ang namuno sa pagpapagawa niyan. Kumbaga, ebidensya.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, umpisan ko sito sa legislation. In terms of legislation, and that's what I'm applying for, to legislate in the Senate, I was able to have approved 270 ordinances and resolutions. So in terms of the process, I think I'm capable of doing that. No, now on your actual question on housing, when I was part of the housing sector, I did not really head the production agency, NHA. But during that time, I was able to visit, yeah, yung sinasabi mo sa Singapore. And that's where I knew the 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 manner of construction, the manner of financing, and the manner of amortizations or payments of the beneficiaries of the housing sector. What I can say now, kung naghahanap ka ng actual production, I have to go to our principal, yung aming kandidato for president, si Isko Moreno in Manila. Right now, 7 condominium units are being constructed and it is patterned after Singapore. So uh, we studied, they studied the manner in which it is constructed, the payment scheme being offered to the beneficiaries. And that is what we want to replicate nationwide. And that will also be part of my program. So we will merge now. Well, my experience in housing, this is not the only housing program we can offer. We can continue with successful programs that we have been giving, community mortgage program, resettlement sites. But I think if we are talking about downtown in city housing, this will be the format and the prototype that we will be adopting.
Okay, in terms of legislation, aside from pushing for mass housing like the Singapore model, what other areas of concern or agenda do you have? Because from the looks of it, the three members of your lineup, one, the vice president candidate, Dr. Willie Ong is a media savvy person. You have
Yeah.
Carl Balita, another media savvy person, and yourself. Na ikaw naman, you are known for the legal expertise. What are you guys going to do about the situation or the experience of ABS-CBN being denied its franchise and
Yeah.
all of this libel? Hindi, kasi alam nyo, ang daming kumandidatong galing sa media pero walang ginawa, walang nagawa para alisin yung libel law na yan at yung kalokohan na yan ng mga franchise requirement for media, given that it is there is the law on freedom of expression.
Yeah, on the franchise issue, well, what I can say is that it's really a privilege granted by government to private institutions to be able to air and to be able to be given a franchise to operate. What we can do here, based on what we have seen in how it was deliberated upon, we can come up with a strict checklist or guideline for the legislature to be used as basis for granting or denying franchises. Nakita natin, marami dun sa proseso based on whims and caprice of legislators. Kung minsan sasabihin nila, kami may karapatan. Nasa amin ang kapangyarihan, kaya ayaw namin. Kailangan naman, kahit papano, yung gagamitin mong dahilan kung in denying a franchise, meron ng, I think we have to formalize this checklist so that their decisions would be based on legitimate concerns.
Okay, well, I'll have to end it at that, Jopet, because we've run out of time. Baka masipa ako at makarate ako ng susunod na bisita natin.
Yes, yes. Maraming salamat, Cito.
But thank you very much for your time this morning, and I do hope that people become more aware of your agenda and your program of legislation. Good luck on your attempt, and God bless you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, yan po mga kaibigan, si Ginoong Jopet Sison and senatorial aspirant. And let's go for a quick break, and when we return, dadaling ko naman sa gitna ng ring yung taekwondo artista, congressman, dating councilor na si Monsour Del Rosario here on Agenda. So sorry, I was muted. Welcome back to the program Agenda, and thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and watching One News PH channels 8 and 250. And of course, thank you to PLDT for their home fiber optic internet. The best! 2 thumbs up po. Laging maayos ang ating signal straight out of Lipa City. Okay, as I said earlier, many of us tend to label or categorize or simply imprint our impressions of people based on the past. And the same goes for the same has been done to our next guest, who many people simply call artista or karatista or taekwondo master, etc. But tend to forget that there is a collective sum. There is a sum of achievements of a person, and we should look at all of them. I'm referring to Monsour Del Rosario, who I have known through the years, and I can say that through the years, he keeps adding achievements, accomplishments, and titles to his life and to his collection of work. Let's bring in, moti ko na sabihin attorney, Monsour Del Rosario, senatorial aspirant. Okay, there he goes. Looking good, my friend. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Cito. It's nice to hear that you still have your sense of humor and yung mga simpleng Alaska mo ganun pa rin. You're still the same person I've known for many many years or maybe over decades already.
Yeah.
And it's good to know you're healthy and you're doing fine except for your sniffles for your that's
Eh,
going on in your life
yan,
now.
yan ang napapala ng mga matatandang nagpapakabata sa ulan at sa trabaho. Anyway, Mansour, as I mentioned, I've known you for many years as well. And through the years, you have added achievements, titles to your life. Una kitang na-interview in the early days. You were taekwondo master. Before that, you were also, and then you became a congressman. Tumakbo ka pa sa local politics sa Makati, if I'm not mistaken. And now you're running for the Senate. Now, ito ba talagang pinagplanuhan mo na from the very beginning na today I'm running for councilor, tomorrow I will be congressman, and then in the years to come I will be senator?
Well, uh, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. But back in 2007, when I first was exposed to public service and I was starting to come out there and, start my career as a public servant, many, I should say, actors or celebrities or public figures that were very well known were telling me, why am I starting on a low level position wherein I
Mhm.
can run for a higher position, because I was very popular and everybody knew who I was and my name was well known. And my answer to that, Cito, is before you get to black belt, you gotta go to white belt, then yellow belt, then blue, then red, then brown, then black. And before you become a world champion, you gotta be the SEA Games champion, Asian champion. Before you go to the Olympics, you gotta go through all that. And the same case, if I do intend to pursue my political career or my public service, I don't come from a political family. I don't come from a political dynasty where I have a father, mother, brother, sister who's a president, vice president, senator, governor, name it all the way down to a barangay level. So how would I uh, know what am I getting into if I don't go through grade school, then high school, then college? So I said, no, I'm going to start at a lower position. I'm going to start as a counselor, get my feet wet, get more experience, see how it goes. If I do like it, and if I think I'm challenged enough to help improve our city, then I'll go higher. Then I ended up in Congress. I was exposed to national level, and national level was very different compared to local level. The challenges were different. It was much harder, and but modesty aside, I did very well. And then I went. Yes, you were correct. I went for vice mayor, and actually back in 2019, there were many people already telling me, "Why don't you guy gun for a national position, a higher position?" But circumstances did not come out the way I planned, the way I wanted to, and I decided, I guess this is it. No, I was done. But then in 2020, last year, I would
Hmm.
get calls, I would get meetings, I would get collaborations with people, and from different sectors of society and political leaders. And slowly they were asking me that maybe you try for a national position. And of course I thought about it, and as soon as I went around the Philippines and consulted many people, checked how people would see me, and I decided, okay, I was thinking of maybe I'll go back to Congress, do another term. But then when they were telling me that you've done so much, you made 292 bills in 3 years, you've surpassed many congressmen and congresswomen who doesn't even come up to that level that you have done. And mind you, they said you even passed a bill, and nobody's done that. In their 3 years, very few have done that in their 3 years. And the bill that I passed is very timely, Cito. It's a telecommuting act. I don't know if you're aware of it. It's a
Yeah.
work from home law. And,
Uh-huh.
when I did that on my seventh month in office. And I didn't expect that there was going to be a global pandemic that will explode all over the world. And lo and behold, our workforce in the Philippines are surviving and earning money and feeding their families because of this law. So most of the laws that I drafted in Congress were of national scope. It wasn't a law just for Makati City or for my district. So I said, okay, I'm gonna do this. I have a lot of platforms prepared. I met with a lot of lawyers. I know I'm the underdog. I know I'm the dark horse. I know I'm going up against veterans, seasoned
But
candidates. But
Monsieur,
I've always been the underdog, Lito. Sito, you've known that.
yeah, but Mansour, is that really your biggest challenge, being the underdog? Or is it being discriminated or prejudiced against for being an actor? Kasi ako talaga, biktima na ako niyan eh. Lagi ako na brand na bad boy. No? So sabi ko parang, hello, 20, 30 years ago pa yon, magbago naman kayo ng internal operating system ninyo. But going back to you, what's the biggest challenge? Being the underdog or being prejudiced against for being an actor at one point in your life?
Well, Sito, you know naman why I joined the movies. I did it to promote the combat sport of Taekwondo,
Mhm.
the martial art of Taekwondo. And that's why I was given the recognition in Korea in 2007 as the first Filipino, first non-Korean, first foreigner in the world to be given the distinction of Man of the Year in the world of Taekwondo. And nobody in the world has ever done that, okay? So, yes, I was an actor and I did international and local films, but that's just a portion of my life. That's not my whole life.
Mm.
And sad to say that in our country, or maybe in other countries, I don't know, that it's stereotyped. It's kind of like discriminating. It's like me saying, "Oh, okay, Sito, you're a broadcaster, so you're not capable and competent to serve the nation." So it's kind of unfair. I mean, there you are. You're laughing already. Do you agree or disagree with me? Di ba? I
Oh,
mean, come
oh.
on. Let's face it. Get to know the person. See what he has. See what he has to offer. Then if you don't like it, hey, it's fine. But I'm here. I'm standing up and I'm saying I have something to offer. If you guys you want a change, I'm here. If you don't like it, it's fine with
But
me.
what happened to you, Mansour? Listening to you now, you've changed. You have you have matured, but not just in age or character. Parang nag-iba yung perspective mo. Eh. Did Congress do that to you?
Yes, in a way. What I experienced there in 3 years, I've never experienced in any experiences in my life. That's one. Well, second, Sito, you know this, that I decided to get into public service once I had a family and I had children. And I was worrying about their life and I was worrying about their future in this country. And a lot of people were telling me, Mon, sayang, my grade school friends, high school friends, college friends, you guys, my friends in different sports, you have a name. And you have a good name, you have a good track record. You go to a public market, everybody loves you. You go to a port area, everybody loves you. You go to any place, where there's people, they love you, and let's put your name to good use. We know you as a man of integrity, a man of honor, and it's time to give back. I'm almost 60 years old, Sito. I have a lot of
Mhm.
wisdom and experience in life, and I have new perspective. I work very well with people as long as it's the right thing. That I work things that they make me do. Of course, if it's something wrong and I don't agree with, I won't go. I won't go to the tide. And people know I'm a man of honor, so uh, I feel like I have to do something. I mean, I have to make a difference in people's lives in the next generation. if I do fail, at least I tried, Cito. I mean, we only have probably a good 20 years left. I mean, after
Mhm.
50, you have more yesterdays than you have tomorrows. We know we're not so far apart in age. I'm just a few years younger than you.
Okay, so clearly having a family and being exposed to the many challenges of the nation while you were in Congress and the political reality has altered your appreciation and has brought you here that you want to give back, you want to give more and serve more. Now, the question is, what will be your priority program? Because congratulations, this telecommuting law, the work from home legislation that is now the basis or the what's being used by the Dole. You authored that. What will be your next masterpiece?
Okay, masterpiece. Well, Sito, we call our healthcare workers our heroes, but I feel like they're underappreciated in this country, and it's like little by little, they're all leaving our country. In fact, the other day, 50 nurses left this hospital just to go abroad, and then last month, more and more nurses are leaving to take care of foreigners. I want to propose a bill that allows the salaries of our nurses here increased, and then maybe close the gap between the salaries abroad that they earn in here, and propose to them the healthcare heroes card. I want this for PRC licensed healthcare workers, nurses, radtechs, medtechs. Uh, I want to have the opportunity for them to stay here. This healthcare heroes card would allow them the same privileges that PWD gets, senior citizens get.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe by doing this, some of these nurses that I've consulted with and spoke with would stay in this country and take care of our people instead of them leaving, going to another country and taking care of foreigners. That's one bill. The other bill is I very few people know. I think you know this. I was born in Manila. I was raised in Negros Occidental. I studied all my grade school there, and high school I studied in Manila and college, but I would always go back to the province. Ever since I was a boy, I've always been exposed to agriculture. That's all I saw. All
Mhm.
sugar canes, rice mills, everything. There was no buildings, no malls, no nothing. So my playmates were people in the farm, kids in the street. And when I talk to farmers, and recently I just arrived from Negros Occidental yesterday. I was there from November 19 up to yesterday. A lot of them are having a hard time and suffering. So I wanna, and a lot of them are not educated. They didn't finish school. A
Yeah.
lot of them don't understand the laws of the government and what benefits they can get being farmers. So I wanna simplify the laws, okay, for farmers, for them to understand it, basic laws, and maximize the benefits that they can get from government. Plus, when I was in Congress, I did the Free Irrigation Services Act. Uh, they do not pay for water to irrigate their lands, and they get free water from National Irrigation Authority, which is facilitated and constructed irrigation a required system for them. That one I wanna push that. My third
Okay.
one is regional school facilities for specially abled kids with special education teachers. When I was teaching Taekwondo, I had a lot of students who had ADHD, they had a lot of autism, and I was putting them together with regular kids, and I realized that you cannot put them together. You have to separate them and put them in different classes, because if you put them together in a regular school, they're going to get pushed around, they're going to get bullied, and they're going to be traumatized for life. So I'm proposing, since these kids are, especially the less fortunate families who have kids like this, they they are kids are born like that and they die like that with no intervention because they don't know what to do, and they can't afford intervention for them. So I wanna propose something that government can be a vehicle for these kids to be better, have regional school facilities for them,
Okay.
and then
Well, Monsieur.
maybe they can transition to regular
Yeah.
life, and of course sports, Cito. I will
Okay.
I have plenty plans for athletes because I was an
Well,
athlete before.
you have plenty plans. I don't have plenty time, so we will have to do a part two, my friend. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed by the transition and by the new perspective. I wish you all the best, and looking forward to a part two with you, my friend. God bless you.
God bless you too, Cito. Have a good week ahead of you. Thank you.
Okay, that's senatorial aspirant Monsour Del Rosario, and I leave you with these blessings to all our viewers. My God will meet all your needs according to the riches of His glory in Christ Jesus. To our God and Father be glory forever and ever. Amen. From the book of Philippians 4, chapters 19 to 20. Thank you very much for being subscribers of Cignal TV and being viewers of One News PH. I'm Cito Beltran. God bless you.